Streaming live on News8000.com. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
A good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Jordan Fremstead. This morning on News 8 Now, the city of La Crosse has been meeting for weeks on what to do to help the homeless during the winter months. The mayor of La Crosse shares his response.
I'm Derek Sibley. We are waking up to a bit of a foggy start this morning. I'll have more details as far as what we can expect for the rest of the day coming up in my forecast.
And it's Suicide Awareness Week. We're going to learn more about how you can support family, friends, and even coworkers in your life. It is Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. We've got all the news, weather, and buzz you need to plan out your morning coming up. But first, here is your Wednesday morning eye-opener.
None of us want to live in the cold. It's going to be a cold, bitter winter this year.
There's an estimated 130 people experiencing homelessness in La Crosse.
Last year, 26 people died by suicide in La Crosse County. A record interim county medical examiner Beth Lubinsky says was fueled by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Being the first woman was difficult because you have to be 150% better than a man.
I think it's just indicative of the job market as a whole. I mean, we're searching for workers like every other business.
Aquinas undefeated so far in conference play. Logan looking for its first conference win.
I tell you who's undefeated, the weather department this week. Calm and quiet, nothing to talk about. It's like Phoenix and Wisconsin.
There's always something to talk about, Jordan, when it comes to weather, right?
Okay, maybe a little fog.
Yeah.
Put those low beam headlights on, right? Yeah. What a problem. What a first world problem this morning.
Yeah, we're going to need it, though, this morning. I think La Crosse County may actually see the fog this time because yesterday we kind of lucked out on that, Jordan. But, yeah, definitely, like you mentioned, keep the low beam headlights on this morning. I think you'll need it. But let's get a check now on your current temperatures as you head out the door this morning into the 50s and low 60s. 63 in Eau Claire, 62 now in La Crosse, and 54. Much cooler, though, if you're in Sparta this morning. City Cam 8 showing some of the visibilities being reduced out there, a little bit blurry there in the distance as the fog here now is developing across portions of the area, including downtown La Crosse. We expect that fog to continue through much of the morning before turning mostly cloudy by 9 o'clock. Then by 11, partly cloudy skies, followed by mostly sunny skies the rest of this afternoon into early this evening, with temperatures warming up into the 80s this time this afternoon. Today and tomorrow, everything is high for your allergens, but the ragweed levels, though, should start to fall, though, later this week or next week. So we'll continue to monitor this for you as it comes in from our Allergy Associates group. And stay tuned. I'll have your Schoolcast coming up in just a bit. Jordan?
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks a lot, Derek. 7 weeks, that is roughly how long the city of La Crosse has to find a place to house the unsheltered population. According to Coulee Cap's latest count, 140 people are living unsheltered in the city, most down at Huska Park, but the campground closes on October 31st. City staff and social service providers have been meeting to put together a plan for the winter, but during a meeting with council members last night, La Crosse's homeless coordinator said the group is not yet ready to release any information. Last spring, the city tried to buy a motel to house the unsheltered. The deal was not popular with the public and eventually fell apart. Mayor Mitch Reynolds says finding a winter shelter is his priority, and the committee is working hard not to repeat the past.
And I know that you're impatient, and I know you want concrete plans for us to point to and say, we're going to do this, and the city's going to take care of this and take care of that. How did that go for us?
One of the ideas the committee is considering is declaring a state of emergency. That could clear the way for federal grant money and the ability to quickly rezone a property as a shelter. La Crosse's homeless coordinator could not say when the committee will release its plan. A La Crosse man is charged with child sexual exploitation and possession of child pornography, both repeat offenses. Sean Melford was previously convicted of these charges in California in 2017. His probation for those charges ended last year. According to the criminal complaint, a La Crosse investigator got a tip about videos and images containing children being viewed from a La Crosse address. After the arrest, police say they found more images on his phone. A La Crosse judge has set Melford's bond at $2,500 cash, and according to online records, Melford is no longer in La Crosse County Jail. We don't often talk about suicide, but it impacts our entire community. Last year, the La Crosse County area set a record for 26 suicide-related deaths, but there is help. This weekend is National Suicide Prevention Week, a week dedicated to raising awareness about suicide and its warning signs. News 8 Now's Dua Israr spoke to local officials in La Crosse about the resources available for those who need it.
Nationwide, every 11 minutes, someone dies by suicide.
That's far too often.
In the Coulee region, suicide is one of the leading causes of death.
Probably 2 to 3 a month on average.
Last year, 26 people died by suicide in La Crosse County. A record interim county medical examiner Beth Lubinsky says was fueled by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Depression kind of increased along with anxiety, so we believe that had an effect.
So far this year, 13 people have died by suicide.
Kind of slowed down a little bit compared to last year, but it's still an alarming rate.
But there are ways to get help. Great Rivers 211 is an information and crisis support hotline. Director Carla Lundin began working for 211 last year.
It's been an eye-opener.
According to Lundin, this year alone, 211 has taken 1,250 calls related to suicidal thoughts.
The truth of the matter is, it's just hard to get through the day, and you need somebody else for support.
Lundin says if you're concerned about someone, look for warning signs, including a change in behavior or withdrawal from friends and family.
You'll get this feeling in your gut that this person's behaviors or the way they're acting is just different.
And for people who are struggling, Lundin says don't be afraid to ask for help.
There's always hope. You know, suicide does never have to be the answer.
Reporting in La Crosse, Dua Israr, News 8 Now.
Now, if you or someone you know needs help, you can contact the National Suicide Crisis Lifeline. That's at 988. Well, one of the region's largest social service agencies is expanding thanks to a large state grant. The Minnesota Department of Health is giving the Family and Children's Center $1.25 million over 5 years to bring the Healthy Families program to Winona. The program conducts early intervention and prevention services for young children in difficult home situations. Their goal is to provide help as early as possible. And their president says these resources are coming at a time when Winona County needs them the most.
Winona County is one of the 12 at-risk communities in the state of Minnesota, so it's really important that it comes here, right? And this program and the expansion of this program will help 40 families.
Family and Children's Center is based out of La Crosse and also has centers in Winona, Black River Falls, Sparta, and Viroqua. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services is expanding its monkeypox vaccine eligibility criteria. As of Tuesday, 63 cases of monkeypox have been identified in the state. Nearly 98% of those cases are in men, with about 58 sites administering the vaccine in Wisconsin. The DHS is calling upon all vaccinators to expand their outreach efforts to the communities that are being hit hardest. We have full eligibility criteria at news8000.com. The DHS warns people to stay clear of anyone who has tested positive, even if they say they're feeling better, because they might still be infectious.
Could be infectious for as long as they have skin lesions. So someone whose skin lesions are not completely healed can be considered to be infectious or contagious to others, even if they're feeling a lot better or not having any new symptoms.
The DHS has ordered any and all vaccines allowed by the federal government. There are currently 3,800 vials available in Wisconsin. Making running water walk. That is the goal of the Coon Creek Community Watershed Council. After record flooding in 2018 and other flooding events in following years, community members living in and near Coon Valley created a watershed council. They're talking strategies developed in the 1930s by the Civilian Conservation Corps, along with newer practices to help reduce soil erosion and slow floodwaters.
We got introduced to cover crops, keeping roots in the ground, which increases infiltration, things that people can do. We've seen different farming practices that can be implemented.
One Watershed Council member has lived on his farm for 70 years. He started using no-tilling practices roughly 15 years ago, and he says he's going to continue trying new ways to prevent soil erosion.
There's other things I'm going to try, cover crops this year that I haven't done because of the watershed. Yeah, it's an extra cost, but it builds the soil up, holds the soil in place.
doing their part. The more soil farmers can keep in place on the slopes and the bluffs, the more they can slow down rainwater and help prevent flash flooding. The Watershed Council is holding a celebration tonight. There will be food, live music, and a rainfall simulator to help educate visitors about conservation practices. Everything starts up at 6 o'clock at the Coon Valley Veterans Memorial Park. Well, still to come on your Wednesday morning news, a new government report examines the strong job market and how more people are looking for work. Plus, getting your children to eat healthy is never an easy task, but Gunderson health officials say there is one meal that makes it easier. With that in mind, we are sending you to break with something to put the good in your Wednesday morning. And you're going to want to raise a glass on this Wednesday because it is National Beer Lovers Day. And here in La Crosse, we have our very own world's largest six-pack, as well as our very own Coulee Region Craft Beverage Trail. Now, whether it's an IPA or a PBR, you can celebrate today on social media. Add photos of your beer of choice with the hashtag National Beer Lovers Day. It makes sense. You know, here in La Crosse, we got the most bars per capita and the most bars on one city street, the iconic 3rd Street in downtown La Crosse. So be sure to take a photo with that hashtag and be sure to drink responsibly on this National Beer Lovers Day. Your latest forecast is just ahead here on News 8 Now this morning.
And that was a little bit of a foggy view there from a City Cam 8 as we are going to be watching the visibilities kind of being reduced here this morning for your morning commute thanks to that fog. But later in the day, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and temperatures warming up to 83 in areas like Bangor today. Same in Middle Ridge and Mindoro to the north at 83 degrees this afternoon. Highs reaching 82 though in Soldiers Grove and 81 to the east in Hillsboro. Looking at highs reaching 82 and sunny today in Stoddard. Meanwhile, New Albin at 83 degrees. As we head to our central zones, 83 today in Sparta, 81 in Norwalk this afternoon with 83 in Black River Falls and 82 in Alma Center. Highs reaching 83 in both Winona and Trempealeau, and north now 84 and mostly sunny for Eau Claire today. 80 degrees in Thorpe and 80 this afternoon in Loyal. Looking at 81 down south further in Neelsville. Your schoolcast this morning, watch out for some foggy conditions on the bus stop. 63 degrees with the temperature this morning. Lunch hour looking good, 80 degrees and mostly sunny. Mostly sunny skies continue this afternoon with temperatures around 83.
E-cigarette company Juul Labs has agreed to pay nearly $440 million to settle a 2-year investigation by dozens of states into the marketing of its vaping products. The settlement includes restrictions on how Juul can market the high nicotine products. Their investigation found that Juul marketed e-cigarettes to underage youth with launch parties, product giveaways, ads, and social media. Juul still faces 9 separate lawsuits from other states. Gas prices have gone down compared to the beginning of the summer a few months ago. Food truck owners feel the impact as they purchase less gas to serve their customers.
It's kind of hard to be able to raise the prices because, you know, you could potentially stop a customer to be able to buy the product. So I'm trying to be competitive at least.
With gas prices going down, it allows food truck owners to focus more on the rise of food such as chicken and pork. While no one can truly predict where the economy is headed, Goldman Sachs economists say the U.S. is showing signs of decline, but would avoid a serious downturn. In a new report, the bank says the U.S. would likely experience what they call a soft landing, where hiring and wage growth slow without falling into recession. A new government report shows the job market remains strong, with more people looking for work. Matt Piper has the latest.
A number of industries are looking to fill critical positions, especially education. School districts need bus drivers, crossing guards, and teachers.
I think it's just indicative of the job market as a whole. I mean, we're searching for workers like every other business.
The Labor Department said Friday the economy added 315,000 jobs in August, less than previous months, but a strong number historically. The unemployment rate actually rose to 3.7%. That's because more Americans are now entering the job market.
It could be someone who retired during the pandemic and now is unretiring. It could be someone who didn't feel that it was safe to venture out in public to get a job previously because of COVID, feels a little more safety now.
Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says businesses need more workers. The latest government data shows there are 11.2 million job openings.
It is the fact that it's close to 2 jobs that are open compared to every single unemployed American in this country.
Experts say the strong job market shows the economy is not nearing a recession, even though overall economic growth is slowing and inflation remains high. Last week, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said the central bank will remain aggressive in fighting inflation.
The Fed still believes it has a lot of work to do because prices are still high. The cost of shelter that includes rent and mortgage payments still high, and of course the cost of food is still high.
The Fed is expected to continue raising interest rates in an attempt to slow down rising prices.
Now, of course, there are plenty of local job openings in the La Crosse area, including teachers and medical staff. Those are just 2 examples.
A bit of a foggy start here this morning across portions of the Coulee region. Looks like some of that fog here is beginning to relax here now in La Crosse County, but nonetheless, it could still pop up again in some spots, including the La Crosse area. We'll keep our eyes on that. In the meantime, 62 degrees, east-southeast winds at 5 here, and feel like temperature of 62. Humidity is 96%, so plenty of moisture in the air to work with for that fog development. Meanwhile, the river stage there on the bottom at 5 feet along the Mississippi. Current temperatures now into the 50s and 60s heading out the door. 53 in Sparta, 54 I should say in Black River Falls, 62 in Viroqua, and 59 degrees down south in Boscobel. In addition to that, winds are looking nice and calm for many spots around the Coulee region this morning, and we expect that light and variable wind to really continue throughout the day today. Here's what's going on now. We have a cold front here to the north, but an area of high pressure to the south, and we expect this high pressure to be more of an influence on our weather pattern than this cold front is, and we'll explain why that is here in just a little bit. But as of right now in the local picture, we are looking at some clouds here beginning to move in from the north across portions of the Coulee region. In addition to that, again, that fog still a concern early this morning, and then mostly sunny, 79 degrees by noon today. 4 o'clock, 83 and very warm here come later today, and then mostly clear skies in the forecast as temperatures drop to 77 degrees by 8 o'clock this evening. And our highs today looking pretty warm all across the Coulee region as we're expected to jump up into the mid-80s yet again this afternoon. 84 today in Eau Claire and 83 in Sparta. Highs reaching 81, very comfortable for you if you're in Viroqua this afternoon. Yesterday's high was 81 degrees, putting us a tad above average of the 79 degree high for this time of the year. Now for today, I expect temperatures to be much warmer with a high of 84, putting us well above the average high of 79 degrees for this time of the year here in the Coulee region. So getting back to that cold front and high pressure, well, we expect this high pressure system to the south to begin to move a little bit further towards the north, basically sit on top of the Coulee region, providing sunshine. And it looks like this front here to the south, or to the north of us, I should say, is kind of going to weaken a little bit. And in fact, that high might actually push that front away here as well. We expect a south wind here tomorrow out ahead of this next cold front moving into the area, which is going to help warm up the temperatures. But then as that front nears us, we expect this line of showers and storms associated with that system to move in and give us some better rain chances to work with this weekend. Then behind the system, you can see our temperatures are expected to drop into the upper 60s to low 70s for the weekend as far as the highs go, and then we warm up into the 70s and 80s for next week. Low temperatures dropping into the 50s come as well. So overall, the patchy fog is what you need to know here early on, with warmer temperatures here this afternoon. Skies, though, will look mainly sunny. Stay with us, though. We'll have much more news and weather still to come right here on News 8 Now this morning. But for now, we're taking a quick break. Here's a look at what happened on this day in history. We'll be right back. Well, we are watching out for the possibility of some patchy fog that could affect your morning commute out there. But as of now, the visibility checks are looking too bad out there. But in the meantime, our temperatures are into the 50s and 60s as you head out the door this morning. As far as your dog walking forecast goes, watch out again for some of that patchy fog this morning. Mostly sunny for your afternoon. And then things are looking mainly clear as we head into the early evening. Now, for your morning forecast, after that fog clears out, things are looking good. 11 o'clock, partly cloudy, 77 degrees. degrees. And then 3 o'clock looking mostly sunny. Temperatures warming up to 83 degrees this afternoon. I'll be back with your commute forecast plus your boating forecast in just a bit.
Welcome to the Blitz. Last night, a full slate of high school sports. Will start on the volleyball court. Aquinas undefeated so far in conference play. Logan looking for its first conference win. Let's go to Aquinas High. MVC clash. Blue Goals and Rangers squaring off. Logan came to play in the first. Jazzy Davis, one of her 10 kills on the night. Rangers take the first set 25-21. Late second now. Logan up 3. Macy Donarski to Sydney Emineth for the kill. Aquinas cuts the deficit to 2, but the Rangers immune to the pressure. Logan showing off its size at the net. Davis is right there for the block. Blue Goals can't handle it. It's 2-0 Rangers after 2. Let's go to the third. Rangers still in control. Ava Detweiler backwards set to Davis, going up high again. It's 14-6 Logan. Then more the same. This time Detweiler to Hennessy Schaefer, who slams it home. 9-point lead for the Rangers. And then check this effort out from Logan. Detweiler keeping it alive. Blue Goals try to answer, but Davis comes up clutch, her biggest block of the night. And how about the Logan Rangers? They get their first conference win as they get the sweep on the road over Aquinas. Let's hit the pitch. Hilltoppers hosting West Salem last night. First half, Max Worster. Right place, right time off the deflection. He's there to put it in for Alaska, but West Salem gets on the board here with this penalty shot from Nick Ziegler. It's 2-1, but check out this play from Onalaska's Griffin Schultz off the steal. Schultz taking it the length of the field, a one-man fast break, and he's going to finish this one in style. He finds the twine. What a goal from Schultz. Hilltoppers going to win it 3-1. Let's head out to Sparta High School. The Spartans at home hosting Holman early in the first. The Vikings with a chance to get on the board. The shot is blocked right here, but great second effort. Holman jumps out in front. 1-0. Let's fast forward just a couple minutes later. Vikings on the move again. Check out this play from Aiden Keppel. Great footwork. The lefty slices pure. What a shot. Holman jumps out in front 2-0 in the first half. They get the shutout win over Sparta 5-0. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Breaking overnight, authorities now say at least 72 people have lost their lives in a powerful earthquake that hit China Monday. Over 250 people are injured. Over 1 million residents in the surrounding area are reported to have felt moderate tremors. The region has also endured drought and the worst heat wave on record. The country's president has ordered an all-out rescue effort. Japan has set aside $12 million for the upcoming state funeral of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The announcement was made by the country's chief cabinet secretary during a press conference on Tuesday. A reserve fund allocated for the country's 2022 budget will cover part of that cost. A larger chunk set aside for foreign officials will be coming from a separate budget. The IAEA director has appealed to the United Nations Security Council on Tuesday with regards to Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, and it's setting another warning after continued shelling was reported around the plant. While an explosion is not impossible, I should say, the IAEA biggest concern right now is the possibility of radiation leaking. Back here at home, the Republican candidate for Wisconsin's 3rd congressional district says it's unfair for many working families to have to abide by President Biden's newest loan forgiveness policy. During a roundtable for blue-collar workers in La Crosse on Tuesday, Van Orden says that Biden's policy is un-American.
It's patently unfair for the United States government to compel the folks that are in this room to pay $2,500 out of their pocket to pay off someone else's degree that they their college debt that they voluntarily took out. It's just unfair.
The roundtable event comes as President Biden spent his Labor Day weekend in Wisconsin at Labor Fest. Biden announced last month that federal student loan borrowers making less than $125,000 a year would be eligible to have up to $10,000 forgiven, while others are eligible for up to $20,000 to be forgiven. Well, Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate Mandela Barnes is meeting with labor leaders and working with workers in Green Bay in that area. The current lieutenant governor emphasized his support for organized labor. He says rebuilding the middle class and lowering costs are important to his vision for the state. Barnes was noticeably absent during President Biden's appearance at Labor Fest in Milwaukee on Labor Day. Barnes explained why he didn't join the president in Milwaukee.
We were actually in Racine, took groceries down to striking UAW workers, people who've been out there for about 120 days or more, and that's where my priority has been.
Barnes also asserted his stance on abortion, saying it is about personal freedom, and he says the Supreme Court was wrong in taking away that freedom. A La Crosse woman is getting ready to take the trip of a lifetime to Washington, D.C. on the Freedom Honor Flight. During her service, Vietnam veteran Alice Holstein broke gender barriers in the Air Force, and now she's breaking barriers for mental health.
It takes courage to pave the way, and Alice Holstein has plenty of that.
Being the first woman was difficult because you have to be 150% better than a man.
Alice was the first woman to run a combat intelligence shop for the B-52 nuclear mission. She was also the first sent overseas with bombers for Vietnam operations. Alice wasn't drafted for the Vietnam War. She volunteered.
And I was tired of sitting on my duff, and I wanted to do something for my country.
Much like her father in World War II.
Did not need to go to war, but enlisted because he felt like he had to go. He was very proud of me because I had done that. But I didn't do it because he did it.
Alice persevered through officer training school, then intelligence school.
And a lot of the women didn't make it. It was a real testing of who you were.
At home and overseas, Alice pushed through.
It made me feel pretty unwanted and like I was in the way.
But when in uniform, Alice stood her ground.
When I was briefing the officers on Guam, they would listen to me.
Alice's return to the U.S., like other Vietnam veterans, was hard.
I didn't admit that I had been in the military for a long time.
Alice didn't come home to La Crosse until after she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
The doctors told me that it was a pretty bleak prognosis, and I got angry at them for that bleakness and said, I'm going to be as well as I can be.
Alice says she found strength and hope working at the VA as an awarded peer support specialist.
I have what I call a circle of love around me.
Now professionally retired, she continues to pave the way for mental health.
That's the thing about being in the service, is that there's this invisible bond.
A bond that Alice will share with her brothers and sisters in arms on the Freedom Honor Flight. In La Crosse, Emily Haugen, News 8 Now.
Alice is an author and serves on community mental health boards, and Emily will be part of another one of Alice's firsts this weekend on Freedom Honor Flight. It takes off for Washington, D.C. on Saturday morning. Well, it is time for Steppin' Out in Pink. This annual event raises money for breast cancer research, and experts say that research is crucial for doctors to better treat their patients. Medical professionals at Gunderson say while doctors in the past may have treated cancer as if it impacts all women the same.
We're really trying to understand the genetic differences between these tumors so that we can offer patients specific treatments that are tailored for the disease that they actually have rather than the average disease that the average breast cancer patient tends to have.
A reminder, Steppin' Out in Pink is this Saturday morning at La Crosse's Riverside Park. A new La Crosse Quick Trip wants you to raise a glass. The company held a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Tuesday at its new Quick Trip Spirits location on South Ave in La Crosse. Quick Spirits customers can expect to find a variety of cigars, wine, and beer not available at a traditional Quick Trip store.
Years ago, there used to be corner liquor stores and that kind of thing, and this kind of presents that same sort of experience where you can have casual dining, where you can have casual browsing experience, have a larger selection.
To thank the community for its support, Quick Trip has gifted checks of $1,000 each to the La Crosse Fire and Police departments. The Cub Scouts are recruiting new members. Boys and girls between kindergarten and 5th grade are encouraged to join. Through Scouts, they will do community service, go on field trips, hear from guest speakers, and take part in traditional scouting events like the Pinewood Derby. Scout Executive Joe Carlson says Scouts is a great event for kids and their families.
Unlike a lot of other activities, this is something that you and your child are going to be able to do together, creating memories and having new experiences side by side.
Scouts pay yearly dues, but financial help is available. You can enroll in person and online. We have a link to that at news8000.com. Tuesday was the first day of classes at Western Technical College. Western's president, Roger Stanford, was seen walking around campus to greet students and inspire a sense of community.
Well, we have a belief in what's called first choice service. Our vision is to be the college of first choice. And so we do everything we can to make sure that people feel welcomed, because belonging's a very real deal. And we want everybody here to feel welcomed at Western.
Now across the river, over in the land of 10,000 lakes, kids in the Little Crescent Hoka School District went back to class for the first time on Tuesday as well. And kids new to the district, well, they're not alone. It was also the first day of class for the district's new superintendent, Mindy Crowley. She started the day greeting students at the elementary school and worked her way around to other district schools. Crowley says she will help the district meet its goal of helping every student.
We're doing a lot of equity work. And so that's really been what my career has been about, is working with different types of equity and creating situations where each and every student can succeed.
Crowley has worked in education for more than 34 years and is a third-generation educator. Getting kids out the door and ready to tackle a full day at school can be tricky, and what you're packing in their lunch boxes can make a big difference. But Gunderson health officials say there's another meal that can be just as important. They say building a healthy, balanced breakfast into the morning routine can go a long way toward kids' success at school.
Breakfast consumption can help with concentration in school, like I said before, energy, and then they also found that it might help improve test scores and memory.
Nutritionists also recommend including your kids when you wash produce or cook to start introducing them to healthier options.
Bit of a foggy start this morning in some spots around the Coulee region. Other than that, our current temperatures as you head out the door are mainly into the 50s and 60s, 63 in both Eau Claire and La Crosse right now. 84 degrees for the afternoon temperature today under mostly sunny skies, and you'll notice it will be a little bit warmer here come this afternoon with light and variable winds to work with. Now for tonight, 63 and mostly clear. Weather conditions will remain quiet and winds will continue to remain light and variable. Plan on going boating today. It's looking great after we get through the fog, of course, with mostly sunny conditions and temperatures well into the low 80s this afternoon with light and variable winds. As far as your drive cast is concerned, again, that fog here may be a concern for some of us for the morning commute, and then mostly sunny skies for your lunch hour, followed by those mainly clear conditions lasting into the evening. I'll be back with another check on your full weather forecast in just a bit. Jordan?
Thanks a lot, Derek. Well, coming up in the buzz this morning, there is a new action movie to stream this Friday starring Queen Latifah and another familiar face. We'll fill you in just a few minutes here on News 8 Now this morning.
Bit of a foggy start this morning in some spots around the Coulee region. In fact, if you look in the distance from City Cam 8 in La Crosse, you can see a narrow line here of some thick fog reducing those visibilities here this morning in some spots. Other than that, it's cloudy everywhere else. It's 63 degrees, and we have a river stage here at 5 feet along the Mississippi. Current temperatures heading out the door, looking at readings now into the 50s and 60s for the most part, looking at 53 in both Black River Falls and Sparta, as a matter of fact, but it's 63 here in Eau Claire, 64 degrees currently in Winona, 59 just shy of 60 though if you're in Viroqua this morning. In the meantime, winds are looking light and variable across the Coulee region, and we expect that to continue throughout the day. All right, so here's what's going on now on the weather map. We have a cold front here to our north, but high pressure exists down to the south. We don't expect this front to really be much of a weather factor here for us to work with, and instead we'll keep our eyes on this high pressure system to the south, because that looks like that's going to be the main driver for today for our weather conditions. We're also watching some clouds here on the local satellite and radar picture moving through the area, in addition, of course, to the fog here that we can continue to expect in some spots. And then after that, skies turn mostly sunny by noon today. 4 o'clock, 83 and mostly sunny, and a bit warmer here this afternoon. You'll notice 77 degrees and mostly clear skies as we wrap things up today heading into the evening. So highs today across the Coulee region, mainly into the mid-80s, going to be 84 and mainly warm today in Eau Claire, 83 in Sparta this afternoon, 82 though if you're in Volkfield, and 80 degrees if you're in Viroqua this the South Roan, high of 82 in Winona. Yesterday's high, as a matter of fact, was 81 degrees, putting us a couple degrees above average here for this time of the year. I expect today to be much warmer than that. Highs will climb up to 84 degrees this afternoon, putting us well above the average high of 79. Even our low temperature this morning, I'm expecting 63, and that will put us above the average low of 58 degrees for this time of the year here in the Coulee region. So let's get back to that cold front and high pressure. What's going to happen? Well, we kind of expect this front to kind of stall here a little bit, and actually it's forecast to kind of backtrack to the north as high pressure begins to move in. Now that high is going to be exiting the area by tomorrow, leaving us in a south wind here, and also we'll be ahead of this cold front here too, not to mention. And we were going to be looking at some showers and storms here associated with this front, expected to move into our area by this weekend. That's why our rain chances are expected to climb here for both Saturday and Sunday. And then behind that storm system, we'll be looking at temperatures dropping into the upper 60s to low 70s. And it looks like highs will be pretty comfortable in the 70s to start next week on Monday and Tuesday before warming back up into the upper 70s to low 80s by the mid to latter part of next week.
In our Buzz Report this morning, Netflix is getting into the spooky season early with a new action thriller. It is called End of the Road. Queen Latifah and actor-rapper Chris Ludacris Bridges stars in this high-octane flick about a family road trip that turns into a highway to hell. End of the Road is available for streaming this Friday, September 9th. Another musician is taking a health-related rain check. Justin Bieber took to Instagram to announce the difficult decision to deal with physical and mental health issues. Bieber went public with his battle with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, a rare disorder that paralyzed half of his face earlier this year. Actress Jennifer Lawrence shared with the public for the first time the name of her baby. The 32-year-old revealed in an interview she and husband Cook Maroney named their son Cy after post-war American painter Cy Twombly. Now, Lawrence gave birth in February, I should say, but did not give Cy's exact birthday. She told the magazine that the morning after giving birth was like her whole life had started over. Well, this is usually the point in the morning where we give some birthday shout-outs, but unfortunately, no submissions this morning, Dirt.
Have to upload those photos to us and send them our way here at news8000.com here, Jordan. So hopefully we can kind of get these people to cooperate with us out there.
And do it correctly. You know how many people send us emails? We get hundreds of emails every day. So if you send an email, it's probably not going to get put up here. So you're going to upload their photo at news8000.com. Make sure you look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on the website, and we'll get you some FaceTime here on News 8 Now this morning. Well, we hope you can stay with us. We've got everything you need to know this morning in 5 minutes or less with your Morning News Now up next.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings. Have you heard? We're celebrating 1 year since the launch of CBS Mornings right here in our Times Square studio. Tony, Vlad, and I took a little visit to Nate's house in New Jersey for a great meal and to reflect on some of the highlights of the past year. He did seem glad to see us and talk about the moments that stood out to all of us. And guess what? Somebody's breaking some big news. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
Your morning news now on this Wednesday. This week is National Suicide Prevention Week, a week dedicated to raising awareness about suicide and its warning signs. La Crosse health officials tell us that last year La Crosse County set a record for 26 suicide-related deaths. So far this year, 13 people have died by suicide. Carla Lundin is the director of Great Rivers 211, a crisis hotline. She says the numbers are alarming, but there are ways to recognize when someone needs help.
You'll get this feeling in your gut that this person's behaviors or the way they're acting is just different.
Other signs include talking about suicide or feeling like a burden on people or society. According to Lundin, this year alone, 211 has taken more than 1,200 calls related to suicidal thoughts. She says most times people are just looking for someone to reach out to and listen. If you or someone you know is considering suicide, there is help. You can contact the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. One of the region's largest social service agencies is expanding thanks to a large state grant. The Minnesota Department of Health is giving the Family and Children Center $1.25 million over 5 years to bring the Healthy Families program to Winona. That program conducts early intervention and prevention services for young children in difficult home situations. Their goal is to provide help as early as possible. And their president says these resources are coming at a time when Winona County needs them the most.
Winona County is one of the 12 at-risk communities in the state of Minnesota, so it's really important that it comes here, right? And this program and the expansion of this program will help 40 families.
Family and Children's Center is based out of La Crosse, but also has centers in Winona, Black River Falls, Sparta, and Viroqua. The city of La Crosse is looking to find a place to house the unsheltered population, with the latest count being around 140 people, most down at Huska Park. And winter approaching, they are still figuring out what is the best plan to use. La Crosse Mayor Mitch Reynolds says that is his top priority and that him and the committee are working hard to not repeat the events of last spring.
Pretty foggy conditions in some spots around the Cooley region this morning, so be aware of that as you head out the door for your morning commute. Mostly cloudy conditions, 9 a.m., partly cloudy, 11 a.m., and then lots of sunshine throughout the rest of the day. The temperature's warmer into the 80s this afternoon.
In the land of 10,000 lakes, right across the river, kids in the La Crosse and Hoka School District went back to class for the first time on Tuesday. Kids new to the district are not alone. It was also the first day of class for the district's new superintendent, Mindy Crowley. She started the day greeting students at the elementary school and worked her way to other district schools. Crowley says she will help the district meet its goal of helping every student.
We're doing a lot of equity work, and so that's really been what my career has been about, is working with different types of equity and creating situations where each and every student can succeed.
Crowley has worked in education for more than 34 years and is a third-generation educator. Getting kids out the door and ready to tackle a full day at school, well, that can be tricky, and what you're packing in their lunch boxes can make a big difference. But Gunderson health officials say there's another meal that can be just as important. They say building a healthy, balanced breakfast into your morning routine can go a long way toward kids' success at school.
Breakfast consumption can help with concentration in school, like I said before, energy, and then they also found that it might help improve test scores and memory.
Nutritionists also recommend including your kids when you wash produce or cook to start introducing them to healthier options.
As you head out the door, we're expecting some of that fog here to continue throughout the late morning, followed by mostly sunny skies throughout the rest of the day, mainly late this afternoon into early this evening. Warmer temperatures, highs are expected to climb into the mid-80s today.
So Derek, just because it's quiet right now doesn't mean the noise isn't going to ramp up for the weekend.
Right, exactly. So we could be looking at some decent rain chances this weekend. So keep it here. We'll keep you updated as we get near the weekend.
Of course, just in time for football, too.
What are you going to do, right?
Don't forget to keep up with the news of the day at news8000.com. Of course, we'll have the latest coming up during News 8 Now at noon, and then our evening crew takes over at 5, 6, and 10. CBS Mornings follows us here. Thank you for your time. Derek and I will see you right back here tomorrow, bright and early at 5 a.m. Have a great day.